Outer Orange.
Привет. I did our results today. I haven't done the results in a while. We actually had quite a bit of results come out like last time, and I didn't get a chance to do them. It's a little late now, but there was a bunch of like all the new stuff coming out. So we're gonna go ahead and start with, this is the top 16 as well as the top 4 for the finals. Negata? Don't take my names too seriously. So this is what top 16 looked like. It's a lot of Gandiva, a lot of Ballista. Bastion coming through. This is the new Bastion with the Accord. We see some Zorga and some Minerva, and Orphis apparently has been doing well as well. I think training tools is all the token Rambu stuff. So there's that. And then we got a bunch of other random stuff kind of going through. We even have a Greedon in here, which is kind of crazy. And as you notice, Jet has lowered quite a bit now. I think at this point, Jet is like super like starting to like basically get power crept out. Like before, we still been seeing some results, but I think with this new stuff dropping and token Rambu, the deck's basically like going down the drain. But anyways, look at what top 4 looks like. This is top 4. These are the teams. So we had first place was token Rambu stuff, Ballista and Gandiva. This is honestly what I expect meta to look like for a while, aside from like maybe Bastion. So instead token Rambu for us, it'd be Bastion. This is kind of sort of what, or Minerva. Minerva's another option. But I'm not gonna lie, team 1 is basically what I expect to see for us once we get that up to this set. This is what I expect English to look like. It'll literally just be Ballista, Gandiva something, kind of like the whole Jet Ava something. We're kind of gonna go back to that. There'll always be like that third good deck and then like the 2 best decks basically. Going in second place, we have Gandiva, Bastion, Minerva, which is also a really good solid option in case you don't want to play Ballista. Minerva is a really good secondary pick. They're both really strong in their own way, so honestly both are good choices. Again, another team that's basically probably what you'll expect to see on the English side once we get closer to this set in particular. Third place, we had Zorga, Youthberg, Bastion, so a little bit on the more weirder side stuff, but still 3 very good decks. Youthberg is still good. Bastion, obviously with the new stuff, is good, and then Zorga hasn't really been bad to begin with, but honestly, I think Zorga is more like kind of a cope pick than like a best pick. I feel like if you want to go for the best deck, Zorga is not it, but hey, you do you. I'm not saying Zorga is bad, I just think Zorga is harder to win with than like the other decks. I think the other decks have like a little bit more advantage, especially into decks like Ballista. And Gandiva, I feel like just really have the upper hand. In fourth place, we have the Gandiva, Mushi King, and the new kitty cat. I don't remember the name of the new kitty cat, but that's the new guy that a lot of people have been talking about, the new kitty cat. I don't really know too much about it. I know it's like different binding effects based stuff from what the other girl does. So yeah, whatever all that is, but people seem to really like it because I heard, especially Azim. I know Azim's been going crazy on Twitter over the kitty cat. So over in Beijing, this is the JP format as well. This is top 8 and top 4. So this is what top 8 looks like over there, and looks like over here token Rambu's taking over pretty well. There was a Lonerol actually on the other one too for the top 16, but I don't think they broke through too far. I don't know the results. People are starting to play more Lonerol, which is actually really interesting, guys. A lot of people think the deck's bad. I've always thought the deck was kind of middle, not the worst, not the best, but maybe there's some more stuff. Maybe there's some more cards that came out, or maybe there's some promos or something we don't know about. I don't know. Maybe I'll look at the list if we see it. But we got token Rambu. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna go to token Rambu. I have no clue what any of that stuff does. I know the basics of like I multi-attack, but I could not tell you for the life of me how to get there, what you gotta do to set up. I know it's like very heavy on counterblast, so your opponent just won't give you this much damage. Long story short, I am not the person to ask about that stuff, but I'll just tell you, hey, it's strong, it's there. Next we have obviously Gandiva, we got the Minerva, we got the other token Rambu stuff, we got an Orphis. Orphis apparently has been doing really well. A lot of people really didn't like Orphis. I kind of sat on the back burner on this one. I read the cards and I just kind of went, I'll test, and when I do, I'll know for sure. But I know a lot of people were like, this deck sucks, the support sucks, there's no way the mask makes this better. I'm not gonna lie, when I read it, I was like, this can't be like amazing, but there's no way it's bad either, mainly because the trial deck cards are good. Most of the cards that Orphis got are good. The issue is kind of putting it all together and trying to use the counterblast and kind of trying to manage your resources in a way where it all works. Maybe I'm gonna probably start watching some videos. I have all my Orphis stuff. I've always loved Orphis. Maybe I'll just start experimenting with it. But that's top 8. Let's look at what top 4 brought us to. So top 4 looks like this, and Lonerol did make it in, and we do actually have a deck log for it, so we can actually look at it. We'll probably take a look now. So this is the Lonerol list, kind of what I expected it to look like. Basically, this is pretty normal. So basically, you want to run this in the ride line. You still have Persona. Persona's pretty important, and actually being able to swap back and forth between these two is actually not bad either, because she has like extra drives, but she has the pressure of the Sentinel restrict, and you can honestly toss back and forth without like stressing about too much. She's really good late game, and she's really good early game. So honestly, having the extra one in deck makes sense too, because you still want a Persona. So this is the better dress up searches. This one basically says if your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, you get Lonerol, you can plus 1 top 5 for 2 grade 3 cards with original card name with Lonerol in them, reveal them onto a hand. So basically you just search for Lonerol cards. I think it has to be different card names if I remember correctly, but I could be mistaken. So you have the Cycler. Cycler is pretty OP in here. You don't run Horse Girl anymore, so Soul's kind of just chilling there, so you can just kind of go through. This is the draw card, the draw 2 ditch 1, which is really insane. Drawing 2 ditch 1 is nuts, and then obviously because you have more access to getting orders easier, you don't brick as much on these, which is really nice. And you notice this person's running 3 actually for that very reason, because you won't brick on them. Before you used to like brick on them like crazy. Now you have a lot of ways to kind of get them. The issue is like they stay face down, sometimes it's hard to put them face up again, but for the most part you'll usually be getting to your orders very quickly. I think this is a very good list. A lot of 1-0s with all these heals. I don't know why, all these triggers. I don't know why they decided to go super Highlander on it, but hey, I guess they just like all the Bang Dream girls, so if more power to them, right? So this is the KingSlayer card results. So they also had quite a bit going on. What standard looks like, so they got 4 Ballista, 1 Herminia, 1 Soraka, 1 Phantom Blaster, 1 Gandiva. Honestly, overall results are too unusual, except for maybe this one. Phantom Blaster is still pretty strong, especially in our format since we have like less decks, so I think Phantom Blaster could push through a little bit more. Phantom Blaster is never a bad pick. It's just like a pick. It's kind of one of those picks where you have to mulligan like really specifically, and if your mulligan sucks, you kind of just do nothing. But when your mulligan doesn't suck, the deck's like insane. So it's like one of those decks where like you just really rely on your mulligan. Herminia, I'm not too sure on. I really can't give you much advice. And then we have 4 Ballista, which on our side, this is going to happen a lot because the issue with our side is that we don't have any other contesting decks aside from basically Ballista and Gandiva. So we're just going to sit here and just watch Gandiva and Ballista just constantly top until something happens. And that's the unfortunate part of why the ban list was so painful to look at, because we're just going to see this for the next like 3-4 months now. And no offense to players, they're just doing their thing. They're just playing their decks. But what sucks is that there's nothing really contesting these decks. So we just kind of have to sit here and accept. There's like some rogue decks that contest these decks, but at the end of the day, these are the best decks, and just how it is. That's just how it is. Let's go ahead and look at top 4. This is what top 4 looks like, and I believe this does get fixed. I think one of these gets swapped, but so this is actual top 4. So top 4 was first Ballista, second place Phantom Blaster, third was Ballista, and fourth was Gandiva. You'll notice Phantom Blaster is in second place. I'm not too surprised. Phantom Blaster can retire pretty well, which also hurts Ballista. Anything that has any form of retire makes Ballista just significantly worse. They lose their draw units, they lose their bounce units, they start struggling. If you start really controlling their board, they actually don't have a great time. Especially if you're going first into them, they actually start really struggling. So this is like one of the greatest things about retire decks, and why Gandiva is actually pretty relevant, because Gandiva into Ballista is really good. So long story short, I'm not too surprised to see it up here. I will say it is a good deck. So is it the best deck? No, but it is a strong deck. I think people can underestimate this deck pretty easily. Now you don't have to run Keter OT, by the way, which is amazing, because Keter OT did not work with this deck at all, especially with the new promo and Blaster Dark. It just kind of did opposite. It like added on to something that was already there. Phantom Blaster can make Blaster Dark drive checks, so like literally Keter OT just doesn't matter, so just run the other ones. So just run blue or red, whichever one you prefer. Preferably I think blue is better. Red doesn't actually work, so there's something to keep in mind because Blaster Dark retires himself, so just something to note, so that you can't like make Blaster Dark drive check multiple times. But what you can do is you run the blue OT and just have the crit pressure on top of the crit pressure that the Vanguard already provides, make the crit pressure on Blaster Dark. You can do some other stuff that's also nuts, so something to keep in mind with that. But anyway, this is solid. I like this. I like to see this. Let's go back over and see what premium looks like, because premium is probably what people are more interested in since it's a little bit more different. This one is without the ban list, obviously, so this will probably adjust a little bit, but we got 2 Narukami, 1 Dimension Police, 1 Mega Colony, Gear Chronicle, we got a Link Joker, we got a Nova Grappler, and we got 1 Bermuda Triangle. Honestly, all these are really good decks. People I think are sleeping a little bit Nova Grappler. I'm not a Nova Grappler player, however, I've been hearing from Nova Grappler people that Nova Grappler is pretty good. All the other decks make sense on here. Narukami is really strong. Dimension Police is actually pretty good. It actually is a really good matchup into Bugs and into Narukami, so because of that, Dimension Police is going to continue seeing results. While Bugs and Narukami are meta, DP will continue being meta as well. Link Joker actually falls into this too. DP also checks Link Joker pretty well, so and also DP just doesn't care. It calls from hand a lot, doesn't care about the lock stuff. It has a really strong Vanguard. It's all the focus on the Vanguard. As long as they can't lock down the Vanguard, they really don't care. Gear Chronicle obviously without the restrictions is nuts in my opinion. I think Gear Chronicle is insane. So what top 4 looks like, honestly, yeah, this seems pretty accurate. First, second obviously is Vanquisher, and then third and fourth we got DP and we got Bugs. Yeah, this honestly is what I expected meta to look like early on when I was testing, and I actually kind of cared. I care a little bit less now. I'm more just kind of watching, because I don't even know if I go competing in premium, but watching from a distance, I've just been sort of seeing what the meta's been shifting. And early meta, this seemed accurate. The only thing that's missing from here is Nubatama. I think Nubatama is actually really cracked especially with the bird. Without the bird, the deck's still cracked, by the way. Like, the deck is good. Like, you don't need the bird's like an extra win con. The bird was just unfair, but the deck itself is actually good as well. So we'll have to see sort of what's going on if we start seeing those Nubatama players comes out, because Nubatama is actually in a really good spot, and we definitely didn't see it here, but but this is also just, you know, like a side type of thing. This isn't like an official event from Bushiroad, so people can bring whatever they want, basically. They don't have to like go crazy on it. They're not, you know, they're not getting a kingdom invite out of it, but so they're still having fun and getting money. So, but anyway, so that's that. I think that's it, actually. Yeah, that's all the results, at least for recently. There were some results back in the day. I can quickly show you guys. It has a bunch of like action on it. I guess I'll show you all this. This is the Gunma results as well. So I'm just gonna throw this in here. Just actually, the reason why I want to throw this in here is for two reasons. One is the Chaos. So actually check that deck out. It's actually pretty interesting. I've been testing it a little bit. It's a little hard to play. Chaos is always been a pretty hard deck to play, but it's still actually the deck's pretty good. I think you have to build it a certain way, and I think the way you build it will kind of dictate the strength of the deck. This is not the first time we've seen Chaos with the new stuff. Specifically, Chaos has been popping up more and more. There's a new grade 2 that kind of makes it a lot better, and a couple other cards. And the other thing I want to showcase is actually this prison right here. So I think low-key, I'm not 100%. I might be like kind of capping here a little bit, but I actually think prison's actually pretty good. And even current prison actually into Ballista is pretty good. It decks you out. So, and that's still a win con. So yeah, just something to kind of keep in mind. Be a little weary of prison. Prison's actually kind of annoying to deal with. And I'm actually, as a Ballista player, I'm very scared to see prison players. It is not very fun. But the other thing is the new stuff actually makes prison pretty good too. The promo, and then they got the new grade 2 that searches, and they got a grade 1 as well. And all the cards are pretty good. And then on top of using the grade 3 Garship Girl and a couple other cards, you can kind of just like piss on your opponent a lot and just like apply a lot of pressure. I'm not disagreeing with the fact that Prison probably needs an upgrade in terms of like the grade 3 probably, but overall Prison's actually kind of like low-key clutch. I feel like people are playing it. I don't know why, because it does check decks. It does check quite a few decks. So I don't know how much it checks Bastion and like decks like Token Rambu or Minerva, but I know for a fact it checks Ballista, and I think it could check Andiva as well, because they start choking out their counterblast, and like Andiva can't really perform as well, and they're constantly losing their rear guards. The only thing that sucks is on-place abilities go off, and that's the only thing I'd be kind of scared of. The Ballista player could kind of play carefully with the on-place abilities, but still, the issue is deck out. The issue isn't that you're gonna die. The issue is you're gonna deck out before you can do anything. If they like open up the girl that forces you to prison draw, and open up the other girl that imprisons the top card, you can deck out so fast. I'm not even joking. Like, it's nuts. You can even not use the grade 1 effect you can like use her like once and not use her more, and you'll still watch yourself deck out. It's so painful, especially if the prison player starts healing. Oh my god, I'm telling you, like, I have like PTSD. It's kind of annoying. So that's all I got for this. I just really wanted to talk about the results. I hope you guys like this kind of stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed my insight, whatever my insight is. Here are the results. Everything's here for you to look at. This is the future. This is what the future of our side of the format is going to look like, with the subtraction of Token Rambu. So anywhere you see Token Rambu, just pretend that's Bastion and Ballista instead, because that's basically what it's going to be like for us. And we're going to be seeing a lot of that. I expect to see a lot. I do want to say before I end the video, there are a bunch of other decks that are also good, and I feel like people just kind of go with comfort picks, but a lot of their decks perform really well too. They have a harder time topping because of XYZ reasons. Rather, they don't deck thin enough, they don't see triggers enough, they have to ride Mulligan more. I like Phantom Blaster. Phantom Blaster is a good deck, but you know, it has to rely on more stuff. But so is Ballista. You know, people forget that Ballista can also brick. It can also just sit there with a Persona. Andiva can brick. It can sit there with a bunch of grade 3s that do nothing. They have no bind zone. You know, you'd be surprised. You know, when things go bad, things go bad. So yeah, but every deck can brick, and it's up to you what you feel most comfortable with or what you want to take. So yeah, these are the results. But I just want to throw that out there. So peace out, guys. That's Vidania. I'll see you guys in a future video. Bye.